Tonight, on a Nation Sports Show, we break down more shocking trades, signings that has happened in the last week in the National Football League's insane off-season. Plus, this Thursday, the greatest tournament in sports history begins. March Madness. It's showtime.
Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up. Turn me up.
Good up to the court, talking all that is sport, breaking down the latest news, scores, and more. Welcome to our Nation Sports Show.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time once again. It is a Tuesday, so you know what that means. You wanted the best in the world of sports? You've got the best. It is our Nation Sports Show. We appreciate you guys joining us. I am Ezra Vickery, and of course, we are ready to go, ready to rock and roll, ready to grip it and rip it. It's another Tuesday, and there's a lot to get into. We're going to get into it in just a second. Once again, thank you for joining us, as always. And we're going to get right into it. But first, of course, the ways you can interact with us is, of course, right here on the YouTube channel. Right here on Our Nation Sports Show, youtube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at @Owen_Sports Show, facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show, instagram.com/Our Nation Sports Show as well. Don't forget to follow the Nation's Corner at The Nation's Corner on the YouTube, Nation's Corner across most of their socials. And don't forget to watch their show for all things pro wrestling, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time on youtube.com. They're going to be, of course, talking all things pro wrestling, everything this week from, of course, what happened on Monday Night Raw last night with Cody's epic fireback promo on The Rock, to the announcement of Shayna Baszler doing Bloodsport, to the announcement of her opponent being none other than Russian Dynamite Masha Slamovich. They're going to talk all about that, plus creeping ever so closer to WrestleMania. And we're getting closer, we're getting ever so closer and closer to WrestleMania. And if I keep using the word closer, I might get sued by 9 Inch Nails, but we'll see. But you can follow the guys and gal there at that show on Tuesday, of course. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great show. Follow them. Also, don't forget to follow Too Sweet Cosplay across all socials. We will be having a panel so far, as we know. We will be having a panel at C2E2. Date and time to be determined. So please look out for our social medias for more information as it becomes available. But we will be there in full force, baby, all weekend long. April 26th through the 28th, McCormick Place in Chicago, Illinois. And Joey's having some connection issues. He will be right back. So there you go. Look at me, I'm seamless. And then you can follow Too Sweet Cosplay across all our socials for up-to-date information, cosplay features, and so much more. And while Joey figures out his internet issues, which of course he had a few weeks ago too, let's get right into it. And of course we got look who finally joined. Look who joined at the right time for his intro. It is our boy JT. Joey, I can't fix my fucking internet to save my life, Thornton.
Okay, first off, it's not my fault. It's stupid Spectrum. I don't know what in the world is going on with them, but I've been having...
I had Spectrum when I was living down south. It sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. But what else can you do right now? But anyways, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having an amazing Tuesday. and I'm gonna try to do this from my phone since my laptop wants to be all freaking stupid. But we got a lot of sports to talk about. We got some more NFL free agency to talk about. And of course, like Steven said in his intro, as a matter of fact, it is actually underway right now with the first four, but the NCAA tournament will be kicking off officially on Thursday. So without further ado, let's get to it. Let's go.
Yes, we do, but we can't get to without the patriarch of this show. And no, he will not talk about any deceased fathers like Christian Cage will, but he is the patriarch of this show. Without him, this show wouldn't be possible. My heavy metal brother from North Carolina, a man who is more smooth, laid back, but still rocks just as hard as the new Black Crowes album, Happiness Bastards, available now. It is my buddy Big Stevie Wyand. What's up, brother?
Well, with the references you just did, it may get you closer to God, but I digress. But what is going on, everybody? We are here, we are alive, and yeah, I checked out some of the Black Crowes' new record. It's really, really good, actually. Shockingly, it's really good. First record in 15 years. And a couple of the singles were good, and then heard some of the record over the weekend. Yeah, really solid album. And also, another great album came out a couple weeks ago, and that was obviously the new Judas Priest record, Invincible Shield. And we are here tonight to talk about more insane NFL free agency news and trades and signings and all that good stuff. And also the NBA is hot and heavy as we are obviously over halfway through the season. And there was a big time buzzer beater over the weekend by the Mavericks. We'll get into that a little bit later on. And also, like I just said at the top of the hour in the intro, the tournament gets underway this weekend. The first four has actually started. And with that being said, let's go.
Yes, let's go. We got a lot to get into, so let's dive right into it. Let's talk about the NCAA tournament. Let's talk about March Madness. And like Joey said, it is officially underway. The first four games are underway, or going to be underway today. Of course, right now,
underway right now, actually.
yeah, it is. It's underway right now. We got Wagner taking on Howard, number 16. We got Texas Southern taking on Tarleton State. And then later on tonight, we got ACU and Texas A&M CC, and then Colorado State and Virginia later tonight as well. So those are your four games that are going to kick off the tournament as far as the men's side goes. The women's side, I believe, women's side kicks off tomorrow. With a slate of games tomorrow, a huge slate of games tomorrow. Actually, just a couple games tomorrow. That is Presbyterian taking on Sacred Heart and Columbia taking on Vanderbilt to start off the tournament. Man, what a stacked tournament, especially with the announcement that, of course, Iowa was selected as part of the tournament, and you know what that means. The most dominant player, regardless of gender, in the entire NCAA, Caitlin Clark, will be featured in this tournament.
And Iowa is one of the number one overall seeds in this tournament. Just an incredible season that Clark and Iowa had this year. I mean, all these records that Caitlin has broken over the last several weeks and months. I mean, just she is determined to end her run in Iowa as a champion. But it's going to be tough because you got South Carolina right at the top once again as the number one overall seed on the women's side. And Clark remembers getting so close to that title. So close to the title. And I've always believed that you have to lose one to win one. And even though they didn't win the championship, they didn't make it to the championship. They were so close to winning it. They definitely, I don't like to use the word destiny a lot, but I think that Caitlin believes in her. It's their destiny to win the championship.
I think it is her destiny to win the title overall. It just seems that way, that the fates are falling where they're falling. As far as her performances in this past year has been absolutely dominant. Like I said, the most dominant player regardless of gender in the entire NCAA tournament. Um, what other teams? We haven't had, me and Joey, unfortunately, because of our work schedules, haven't had a chance to really take a deep look at the brackets yet. As far as the women's side, Steven, who are some of the teams that you said that you would pick your Final Four on the men's side, correct?
Yes, more so on the men's side, but definitely the women. Like, the two teams that jump off the grid to me is definitely South Carolina and Iowa for sure. Like those two teams are destined to be facing each other somewhere in this tournament. I mean, those are definitely the two teams. I will have to go through the rest of the women's teams, but
Yeah.
but definitely the men's side. That's the one that I paid the most attention to. But anytime Caitlin Clark is on our screens, we always pay attention
Yes.
because she is a star. And like you said, it doesn't matter what gender it is. She is bringing faces to basketball, especially collegiately. Like she is a star in the making.
Yeah, Saturday, March 23rd at 2 p.m. That's probably my time. Will be which is central, by the way. Will be Iowa's first round matchup in the NCAA tournament. According to a good friend Google.com. So that day they will begin their run. So because if you take a look at because also that day too this week, also just to let fans know for programming notes, Pat McAfee will also be in town that week to deliver a special edition of the Pat McAfee Show live from the start of the NCAA women's tournament this Friday. Obviously, they're going to be starting Saturday. His show will be on Friday, but just for those, especially the wrestling fans, Roman Reigns will be on the show as a special guest. So there you go on that. That's a little tie into the tournament itself. But like you said South Carolina and you said Iowa were the two teams that were you're looking forward to on the women's side, right? That you see making the most noise.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, see, I haven't really taken a look at the women's bracket like enough, but at the same time, if it were to come down to South Carolina and Iowa, they, if I remember looking at the bracket correctly, they would not be potentially facing each other until the national championship game.
Ooh, interesting.
So yeah, while you guys have been talking, I've been taking a look at the men's bracket because I got it pulled up right here because this is actually the one thing I am able to do on my laptop.
Yeah, sounds like either A, you need a better internet connection, or B, your laptop needs to be
What's going
updated.
on, William? How you doing, sir?
Laptop
What's
needs to be,
going on, William?
your laptop
And
probably.
and this is an interesting questioning by William here in the chat. Why is Iowa and LSU in the same bracket? I forgot about LSU. There you go. Yeah,
Yep.
LSU is definitely those are three of my Final Four teams for the women's side. Like,
Yeah, but with Iowa and LSU being in the same bracket, only one of them can make it.
oh, this is true. Yeah. So if I had to pick, Iowa. Yeah, that's interesting that LSU and Iowa are in the same bracket like that. They should be in opposite brackets.
All right, let's see. I believe as of right now, I have my predictions for the Final Four in the men's bracket. Yep, I have my predictions in the men's Final Four.
Oh, you do? Let's transfer over to the men's Final Four. Who do you got, Joey?
Let's see. My predictions are going to be UConn, Arizona, Kentucky, and even though they lost as a number one seed last year, I think they have fixed their mistakes enough to where I think Purdue is going to make it. And if not Purdue, then Tennessee.
My bracket is obviously UConn because they're one of the best teams in the country. Houston, Tennessee, and Arizona.
Okay. Now, I do see some very nice upsets that could happen here,
Hmm.
but I'm going to go ahead and say my picks for the national championship. I think it's going to come down to UConn and Kentucky, with UConn winning it all. UConn is a strong team this year on the men's side. Strong team. So I think UConn is going to do what it takes to win it all this year.
Let's see here. I was looking at the brackets myself. Looking at the bracket myself here. And I gotta say there a lot of teams. There was a couple teams that did surprise us here. Obviously, being from the Chicagoland area, one of the teams that's done pretty decent this year has been Northwestern. Northwestern, of course, done pretty well. They're taking on FAU in the first round. Um,
Yep.
obviously, what were you gonna say, Joey? Sorry.
I was going to say they're taking on Florida Atlantic in the first round.
Yep. And then, of course, the powerhouse, of course, North Carolina back again. Number one seed. Just absolutely a dominant school, dominant force. Baylor, number 3.
I honestly think North Carolina can make it to the Elite Eight if they
Yeah,
play some good enough ball. But I think Arizona could potentially knock them out, and that's why I have Arizona going to the Final Four.
really.
Carolina is such a tricky team to me because they have nights where they're really, really good, and then they have their nights where they are really bad. And so does Duke.
Take the ACC tournament for example. North Carolina's first game, they drubbed Florida State by 25 points. In the championship game, their shots wouldn't fall against NC State, and that's why State won.
And that was
Great.
a stunning upset in a lot of people's eyes here in the Carolinas when the Wolfpack beat the Tar Heels.
Yeah, and just like I said about the list of potential upsets, I honestly think if State has that same mindset that they had in the ACC tournament, I honestly believe they can actually beat Texas Tech and move on to the round of 32.
Real quick, here William here in the chat says his Final Four. William has UConn, Houston, Kentucky, Virginia.
Ooh, Virginia's that's gonna be a stretch because they got to get past the first four first.
Yeah.
But then again, ever since they've introduced this first four, at least one team has either made a deep run or actually made it to the Final Four
Mm-hmm.
every year.
Those are to me the teams to watch out. Is those teams that are in the first four. Like those are going to be the teams that bust a lot of brackets if one of those teams out of the first four can really make a run.
What about the Tennessee Volunteers?
Tennessee to me has a great shot at getting to the championship game. I mean, all the season that they've had this year, they've had some very critical wins overall during the year.
Yeah, Tennessee, I think is going to be one of my Final Four just because it's like you said, they've had some critical wins. They've done a great job. My other my other on that side of the bracket is a tough one. It's a tough one because I don't want to. I gotta. It's really really tough, and it really is. Shit, man. I'm gonna go with.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, I am going. It's hard because Purdue. You got Purdue is number one on that side as well, and in the Boilermakers. But
Purdue is the one, you know what? I think Purdue is the one number one seed in this bracket.
Yeah.
That is probably going to be the one team that a lot of people sleep on just because they just don't, even though they've had a great year, I just don't think they match up with Houston or UConn. I mean,
To,
And
to,
see,
and to
keep in
me, to me,
mind,
Purdue is one of them schools that you don't expect to be as high as they are in the selection process because they're not a named school. They're not a UConn. They're not a Duke. They're not a North Carolina. They're not in Arizona. They're not a Houston. They're not a Wisconsin. So it's you know, you don't expect a team like that, but you also can't sleep on them too because you never know.
yeah,
Anything can happen. That's why they call it March Madness. One team, one powerhouse team could sleep on them. Next thing you know, they're out.
well, it's very interesting you bring that up, Ezra, because if you guys think back to last year, Purdue became the second number one seed to get ousted by a 16 seed last year.
yes, they did.
So if they
Barely.
so they could be looking for some sort of vengeance here on this year. You never know. But obviously on that side of the bracket, I'm picking. I'm gonna go with, like I said, I'm gonna go with Tennessee, and I'm gonna go with. I mean, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go Duke.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm looking at the number one seeds right now and see which one possibly looks the weakest. And believe it or not, I actually think Houston might be the weakest number one seed. The,
Really?
re- the reason I say that is because Houston, they are now in the Big 12. This was their first year in the Big 12. So they, even though they were able to play some great ball this year, they really haven't faced true competition year in and year out. And of course, I know Houston has a very rich history with the five Slamma Jamma days back in the 1980s. But based upon how Houston looked in the Big 12 tournament when they got their butts skunked by Iowa State, I honestly think Houston can't really play defense at a decent level to get them far. So, with that being said, if these two teams were to face each other, I can see Duke beating Houston in the Sweet 16. I can see it.
Hmm.
However, if Houston were to make it to the Elite Eight, if Kentucky makes it that far, then I could definitely see Kentucky knocking them out.
Yeah.
I think Purdue has a lot of pressure on them because,
Yeah.
Oh,
I
they do.
mean,
They could potentially have a day in the Sweet 16 with Kansas. Now, yes, Kansas has been an up and down team this year, but Kansas is still a good ball team.
Oh man, it's this is gonna be a tough tournament. You know, you never know. Let's see, we got Michigan State, of course, taking on Mississippi State. We got, like I said, of course, your school, Joey, the Crimson Tide, taking on Charleston.
We ain't gonna make it far. I can guarantee you that right now. We
Yeah,
ain't gonna make it far.
Clemson, New Mexico. Um, the FAU Northwestern match is probably the match I'm looking forward to the most. Not only because of the Chicago connection, but because of the just I think it's gonna be an overall good game, number 8 versus number 9. Um, what do you think about UConn? You think UConn's gonna stomp Stetson and move on to the next round?
Oh, UConn's gonna beat them by at least 30 points, if not
yeah,
more.
they stand no chance.
Okay, which team do you see having the biggest upset in the first round?
Ooh, that's a good
Oh, that's a
question.
good
Question I want to
question.
say, and that's across both sides of the bracket. I want to know that team.
You know what?
Man, that's a good question.
I could be looking at a few possibilities based
Okay.
on what I'm looking at right now. I could be looking at a few possibilities. Hang on just a second. Okay. Dang, what in the world? Okay. My laptop was playing something. All right, so now back to this. Yeah, I could definitely see a few upsets here. And I'm gonna round up my closest possibilities.
Okay.
Number one, if, and this is a big if, they win their first 4 game, I could potentially see Virginia beating Texas.
Okay.
I can see that one. Believe it or not, I can actually see NC State beating Texas Tech. And as much as I hate to say it,
Mm-hmm.
I can honestly see Charleston knocking off Alabama.
Really?
The reason I say that is because if there was one team that I watched throughout the college basketball year, or the team that I obviously kept up the most on, it was Alabama. And Alabama, they have had their struggles, especially since Nate Oates, who I admire his coaching ability. I do. But at the same time, he has turned Alabama into a 3-point shooting team, and not a good one. Alabama tends to struggle from 3-point range quite a bit. And that is, I don't think, I mean, I know Alabama's going to try their hardest in this tournament. Hell, all 68 of these teams are going to have to try their hardest if they want to make it far.
And that's a good point by you, Joey, because if Alabama makes it this far and if Arizona makes it this far and they both meet each other in the tournament, that's one thing the Crimson Tide are going to have to, make adjustments to, is because the Wildcats are one of the best 3-point shooting teams in the country this year.
And say if Alabama and Arizona, or Arizona's more likely going to make it, but if Alabama were to somehow make it far, they would meet Arizona in the Elite Eight. But of course, you'd have to knock off St. Mary's, who is a pretty decent team, and of course Alabama would have to knock off Carolina.
Yeah.
So that's going to be some tall tasks for Bama. So I mean, hey, it's March Madness. Anything can happen. But those are my top 3 options as of right now.
All right. As far as from, yeah, I definitely agree with you on. We could see possibly Alabama, because you can't count out Alabama not just as a basketball team but as a school overall. Their drive to succeed, their drive to win championships. We've seen that in all sports during it. So you never know, that drive and determination could push them forward and shock the world. We don't know.
William says here in the chat, watch out for Illinois. Yeah, they could make a run too.
Oh, I agree. The Fighting Alumni, man, that team is
That's right.
very
Illinois can
well.
make a run.
I think Illinois is, and I agree with William. I think I'm going to go with William on this one. I think Illinois might be my wild card team. I think they're going to be that. They could be a team that becomes that team that makes the run into making a deep run, because we've seen it in the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, Illinois has become a school that's really, as far as their basketball program, is really has seen a lot of promise and has seen a lot of prominence. Just overall, the school has become a better school with their basketball organization and with their basketball team, and and it's not biased per se, but it's a little bit biased. I can't help it, but being from that area, but the Fighting Alumni is a school that's been absolutely killing it and I'm excited for them. Hopefully they make a deep run just to represent us, but it is what it is. The but I'm excited for I could see Illinois doing it. As far as upsets, um like I said, I agree with Joey on a few of his. Um but yeah, I'm gonna go with Illinois as well as my sleeper team to really possibly make a deep run and cause some problems and bust some brackets. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go I didn't pick my final four. I'm gonna go with Tennessee. I'm gonna go with Duke. Then on the other side, I'm gonna go with uh I mean obviously I'm gonna go with UConn and I mean it's easy to pick Iowa State, but um for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go with them. So there you go. You've announced your final four, right, Steven?
Yes.
All right, cool. The tournament, of course, is like you said, is starting right now. Check your local listings, check your channels for all the up-to-date information, and of course, NCAA.com for the bracket for up-to-date info on that. Let's keep the basketball train rolling, guys, and let's talk about the professional. Let's talk about the NBA. And we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We're less than a quarter of the way to the end of the NBA season.
Freaking crazy. It's insane. We are so close to the play-in tournament starting.
Yep, we're very close to the play-in tournament starting. We're probably about an average, I would say, around 14 or 15 games left in some organizations. Hell, right now, Washington right now, Houston and the Wizards are playing right now. The Rockets are up 29-25. The Orlando Magic's up on the Charlotte 23-13. And then getting ready to tip off here is Brooklyn and New Orleans. And then at the top of the hour, we got the Spurs and the Mavericks. And then later on tonight, final game at 9 p.m. Eastern, Nuggets and the T-Wolves. So those are your matchups there for tonight.
Oh, that Nuggets T Wolves game that could determine.
Ooh, that's good.
Both teams at 40
going to determine seeding right
both
there.
teams at 47 and 21.
Ooh,
That right there is going to be a marquee matchup on the calendar tonight, and that right there could determine seeding right there.
absolutely. And real quick, I actually happened to stumble across this the other day as I was looking at Facebook, and this is a massive dig at the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
But in case you guys didn't know, the ACC tournament was held at the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C., where the Wizards play ball. And somebody put out a meme saying that State won more games in 5 days in Washington, D.C. than the Washington Wizards have won at home all season. I was like, God.
So what you're saying is more disappointing than a Lollapalooza lineup for this year.
Oh, that's actually true. Yeah, the lineup is very mid.
Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. What did you say it was? Did you say it was? Did you say it was?
Thank you, MJF.
Wow.
But man, dude, we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and let's right now, real quick, some news that came out, of course, this past week. Donovan Mitchell is going to be out at least for the next week with a nasal fracture.
Damn, everybody having No injuries this go round.
Well, Anthony Davis got injured this past week. What a surprise that was.
Not a surprise.
What happened? Did Andy from Toy Story enter the room again? He turned into plastic and broke his bone.
He tried to jump off the stairs again, and now he's yelling, "Years of academy training wasted." Um, other news, real quick. Christian Wood for the Lakers will undergo an arthroscopic procedure on his left knee and is expected to be sidelined for several weeks.
Oof.
Wow.
Wow.
He's been out since Valentine's Day. Let's see. Wizards unfortunately got some bad news on their end. Bial Koulibaly will miss the remainder of the regular season after being diagnosed with a right wrist fracture. Yep, it was suffered when he fell during that March 16th game against the Bulls.
Dang.
Giannis is dealing with left hamstring soreness. He was out a couple games ago.
Yep.
Yeah, but Anthony Davis, it says his vision was impaired and his eye was swollen shut after contact.
Oh, speaking of contact, how about the two monster dunks we saw last night from the Hawks player and Anthony Edwards from the T-Wolves? Dear God.
Tell you what, them some posters, I tell you.
Yeah, maybe a poster there, as Stacey King would say. Taj Gibson is signing a deal for the rest of the season with the Detroit Pistons.
Man, that dude's bounced around the NBA for a long time.
And it sucks.
Wait, what was it?
And it sucks too because he's such a great defensive player. I mean, to me, he's a Hall of Famer alone based on the Eastern Conference game they had against the Miami Heat when he was a member of the Bulls, and those two poster dunks that he had, one on Dwayne Wade and then the putback dunk that he had right afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember the videos of that. I remember videos that circulating everywhere. I believe I was in Chicago during that time, actually. I was walking around the city with my sister, and I stopped and listened to the game right by the ESPN 1000 studios. Because they had it blaring through the speakers. You could hear it literally outside, but right by the door.
Dang.
It was great. Let's see what else real quick. Mr. Adrian Wojnarowski. Looking right here. Going down the line. Let's see here. Oh. Right here. Michigan announced, here's some college news. Michigan announced that head coach Juwan Howard will not return next season.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Well, then again, Michigan don't play with a crab in basketball, anyways.
Yep. They said his buyout is $3 million.
Not too bad for a buyout.
Not bad.
Get to go home. Yeah, get to leave your team with a nice fat check. Let's see. The good news is looks like Kobe White avoided serious injury last week. Only has a mild hip strain, so he should be good to go. Especially because the Bulls right now, actually, I think they hold the number 9 spot in the playoffs right now. They hold a spot in the play-in tournament as of right now too, or they could depending on their schedule. Let's see here. Let's take a look at the standings. Or let's see. Let's just take a look at the records. Let's do that. All right. So far, we've got on the Eastern Conference, we've got You got the Boston Celtics, of course, who have clinched their playoff berth. Followed by the Bucks, Cavs, Knicks, Magic, and 76ers. They're the only the Celtics are the only team that has clinched any sort of playoff positioning. So that's your top six. And then in 7, 8, 9, 10 slots are the Pacers, the Heat, the Bulls, and the Mavericks. With right now the Bulls are 34 and 35, the Heat 37-31, Hawks 30 and 38, and the Pacers 38-31. So they're creeping. They're right underneath the 76ers for that sixth and final regular playoff spot.
Yeah, those 7th and 8th seeds are going to be very interesting to see how they go because any of these four teams, Atlanta, Indianapolis, etc., any of these teams can make a run. Miami is still right there. I mean, Miami. I mean, they made the finals last year, and
Yeah.
none of us had them winning or winning that far and getting to the NBA championship series.
Oh. Nope, and I know they're going to come with the same fire and passion they do because they want to get back there, but it's going to be a tough road, especially with the Celtics who have been absolutely on fire. You look at that 54 and 14 for the Celtics. The nearest highest record is 44 and 24 for the Bucks.
Yep.
A 10 game difference.
10-game lead, and they pointed this out during Sports Center this morning as I was watching and getting ready for work. The last time that Boston has held a 10-game lead in the Eastern Conference was back in the 85-86 NBA season when they won the NBA championship by beating the Houston Rockets. So let's see if history can repeat itself, just not with the opponent because Houston sucks.
Yeah, because right now the gap between the second and third place spot, it's only one game right now. And then in between the third and fourth spot on the Eastern Conference is only 2 games. Fourth and fifth is only 1. The Pacers only have a half a game or a half a game behind the 76ers for that number 6 position.
Wow.
It's a pretty tight race as far as the first 6 goes, except for the Celtics, of course, who are just completely dominant. But you look at the Western Conference, it's a pretty tight race for numbers 1 through 3. Grand total of only a game total between those 3 teams.
Wow. I believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Nuggets and the T-Wolves.
T-Wolves are only a half game behind the Thunder, and the Nuggets are only a half game behind the T-Wolves.
Wow.
It's a tight race. Any of these 3 teams can take that number 1 overall spot.
Yeah, I mean, the Nuggets and T-Wolves are playing each other tonight, as we mentioned earlier, so...
Yep. Also, too, the for the 7th and 8th spot, it's going to be crazy because it's the Mavericks and the Suns, both teams same record, but Mavericks hold the tiebreaker.
And speaking of the Mavs, how about that incredible game-winning shot by Kyrie on Sunday?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I mean, Luka and Kyrie have proved a lot of us wrong when it comes to the chemistry that they have on the court. And the Mavericks are making a pretty good run right now. And if they can get it going, they can definitely make some noise come playoff time if they can somehow make it through the tournament. But if you're the Mavericks, you want to get at least the number 5 or number 6 seed, which is a guaranteed, obviously, spot. You do not want to get that 7th or 8th possible seed because you're having to play for those spots.
Yeah, because if you look at that, and then right after that is the Lakers, who are 2.5 games behind the Suns, and then right behind them are the Golden State Warriors.
Golden State had a slow start to the season. I mean, just up and down, all the infighting and
Green getting suspended for those, 18 games?
Yep, Draymond Green drama again. I mean, just this Golden State team has been rattled throughout the entire season for a lot of the times, and then they made this incredible run, and they're right there in the thick of things, they're right there in the picture. But it'll be interesting to see what happens because even though Golden State could be a number 7th or 8th seed, I still don't want to play them just because Curry, Thompson, especially those two players, can get it going.
Of course, I will say there is one team that I've been very surprised about this year, and believe it or not, I'm actually saying the Minnesota Timberwolves, but not just because of the fact that they have great talent on their roster, but they have actually played very well ever since Karl Anthony Towns went down with his injury.
And we thought that injury was gonna be, detrimental to their chemistry, but got to give them credit. They have rallied the troops, and they are still one of the best teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah. Definitely. And then of course, here's the thing: nobody has clinched a playoff spot in the Western Conference yet. That's how unpredictable it still is. Nobody's clinched a spot yet. And right now we're in some cases only 15 games out. Probably between 13 and 15 games out. So I'm excited. Excited to see what happens here going forward. We've got some critical games coming down the stretch. And of course, our Nation Sports Show will have it once we know. So there you go. Anything else NBA wise you want to hit before we move on to the wonderful world of the NFL?
Think I'm good on that part.
I'm clear.
All right, NFL, let's go, man. And there's a lot to talk about. Once again, free agency continues to really be the forefront of the talk right now. And of course, it doesn't get any more forefront than what we had. We had some breaking news come in just before the start of the show, and that is that Mike Williams will be signing a 1-year deal up to $15 million to play for the New York Jets. He was released by the Chargers earlier this week in a cost-cutting move to help clear cap space. So now Mike Williams is now donning the mint green and white.
Boy, if you're the Chargers, Jim Harbaugh is thinking to himself, what in the hell did I get myself into? I came back to this? They've lost a lot of their talent.
Right? I mean, they've already lost Austin Eckler. They've lost Keenan Allen. They've lost Mike Williams. I mean, that's 3/4 of their four-headed monster offense right there.
And now you got Justin Herbert. Here's a guy that has nobody to throw to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because look what happened. Look what happened to that. You have Mike Williams who's now with the Jets. You got Keenan Allen who's with the Bears. I mean, it's insane. It's insane how they let all these players go, and now they're just absolutely giving firepower to all of their opponents.
Speaking of giving, the Pittsburgh Steelers continue to give quarterbacks.
Which I'm still wondering what the fuck did they do there? Justin Fields is gone from Chicago and is now joining Russell Wilson over in Pittsburgh.
And YouTuber Urinating Tree made a video when Russell Wilson was traded. And he jokingly goes, watch, they're going to trade to get Justin Fields from Chicago. And they did! And they did!
Yes, see, and the Bears, they got the short end of the stick in this return because all they got back was a 2025 6th-round pick, which will turn into a 4th-round pick if Justin Fields plays more than half of the snaps for Pittsburgh this year. That's it. Unbelievable.
Just remarkable. I mean,
Bears are doing so good at free agency, and then all of a sudden,
Well, this just proves right here, right now, that Caleb Williams is going to be donning that orange and blue come draft night.
even though he has publicly said that he does not want to.
Well, he may have no choice.
Even
He may
even
have no choice at this point.
anybody notice how his father is fucking getting involved in this now too?
Oh, I know. He wants to have partial ownership in the team that his son's going to play for. And I'm like, no.
That's not the way this works, pal.
He thinks he's LeVar Ball or something.
I mean, I hate to say it for you, Ezra, but if Caleb Williams does wind up going to Chicago, I hope he's a bust at this point.
I have a feeling he's gonna be a massive
You
headache.
trade away Justin Fields. I mean, is he a top 5 quarterback? No. But for the love of God, you bring all this talent in. And Justin Fields is thinking to himself, oh, I have weapons to throw to. I mean, you still have you just acquired Keenan Allen from LA. And you still had DJ Moore. And he developed a fucking connection with him last year when Chicago made their run. And now you trade away all of that. And now Chicago is going to have to start all over again. And this is the thing that is just stupid to me with some of these organizations. They trade away something that is good about their franchise. Because Justin Fields has been in the league for what? 2.5, 3 years?
Yep.
And he's gotten better. He's certainly better than a lot of the guys that have been drafted in the NFL. He actually has talent. If you give him an offensive line, he can throw. When you give the guy time, especially when you give any quarterback time to throw, they will find their receivers. He's a running quarterback that can make some serious moves down the field. And now, the connection that DJ Moore had with Fields is gone. And it would not surprise me if Caleb Williams gets drafted by Chicago and he's a bust.
I have a feeling it's just going to be a massive headache for us with his father, with all this stuff. It's just like LeVar Ball all over again.
Yep.
Just because you're the father of the team, that doesn't mean you can't own part of the team. I'm sorry. Just because your son is about to go to Chicago, probably will, that does not give you the right to say to the owners of Chicago or to any owner in any team, I want to own partial of the team. That's not the way this works. You can't just ask.
And the fact that he's asking for 25% ownership, he's asking for a quarter of the team's ownership. Heck no.
No.
That is not how it works, buddy. Absolutely not.
Oh, don't even get me started on that, dude. But anyways, moving on from that, just so much going on right now, free agency wise. I mean, seriously. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo has came out and said that today that his 2-game suspension for violating the NFL's performance-enhancing substances policy it was because he messed up the therapeutic use exemption when he first got to Las Vegas.
What?
Are you kidding me?
Did Garoppolo take these supplements because he realized that his quarterbacking skills were starting to suck, and he thought to himself, "Oh, what if I take some supplements? I might get my superpowers back."
We need Kevin, goddammit.
I mean, I swear, when Kevin comes back to the show, we might as well give him at least a good 45 minutes just to rant about.
Yes. When he comes back, when he does come back, here's your fair warning. Somebody strike that poor boy down because he's gonna be ranting and raving like a sailor.
Yep.
Yep.
Did somebody say fair warning? Oh, strike that poor boy down.
Ay, ay, ay. Let's talk about one of the other big stories to come out, and that was the New Orleans signing Chase Young.
Ooh, talk about that move to San Francisco, huh? Didn't
One-
pay out so good.
1 year, $13 million deal, but it already comes with a thing, and that is that Chase Young will be undergoing a neck procedure, which will sideline him into training camp.
Wow.
The expectation is that he will return in time for the season. The Saints knew about it and decided to go ahead and move forward regardless.
Well, that just lets you know how desperate the Saints are on defense.
Shout outs to my friend here in the chat, Sister Abigail, joining into the chat. What's going on?
There you go.
Oh,
Welcome. Speaking of the 49ers, they signed former Minnesota Vikings quarterback Josh Dobbs.
whoop-de-doo. Not.
Let's see.
Wait, say that again?
Oh, what? What did I say? Wait, what?
Something about San Francisco?
Yeah, San Francisco signed Josh Dobbs.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Seriously, Minnesota. Seriously.
No, not Minnesota. Yeah,
No, I know. But what I'm saying is Minnesota had a decent quarterback on their hands last year.
Yep.
And just because he had one stinker of a game, let's just trade him away. Let's let him go.
And speaking of another quarterback finding a home, former Ravens quarterback Tyler Huntley has signed a 1-year contract with the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, they get Cleveland. Not one, not two, not three, but 4 quarterbacks on their roster.
Oh my God. I'm waiting for the day when Deshaun Watson again sucks when the season starts.
Yep. But then again, but this year they won't have Joe Flacco to turn to because he's now an Indianapolis Colt.
You know what? I'm honestly surprised, Joey, he didn't go to the freaking Cardinals. You want to know why? Because that's the retirement home for quarterbacks.
Yes, I know. Just ask Kurt Warner.
Yes.
Speaking of Cardinals, they now have a decent backup for Kyler Murray named Desmond Ritter.
You can't be serious.
Yep, the Cardinals.
No. I'm saying about it being a good backup. You can't be serious.
Oh yeah, but yeah, the Cardinals got Desmond Ritter in a trade with the Falcons for Rondale Moore.
Yep.
Oh, the Cardinals better hope and pray to the football gods above that I play Call of Duty all the damn time, Murray decides to play great. Because if he starts to suck, then Desmond Ritter's going to be going, put me in.
Speaking of which, this actually just popped into my head. Former 49er D lineman Eric Armstead, I believe, signed a deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Man, Jacksonville is making some serious moves in this offseason.
Oh, yeah.
8-time Pro Bowler Tyron Smith has signed a deal with the New York Jets.
And there goes one of the biggest acquisitions on the Cowboys offensive line. Kaboom, gone.
This is the projected offensive line. At left tackle, Tyron Smith. At left guard, John Simpson. At center, Joe Tippmann. Right guard, Elijah Vera Tucker. And at right tackle, Morgan Moses.
And Smith is a great pickup for the Jets because they need a better offensive line, and this is a good start for the Jets.
Yep. Also, the Cowboys released Leighton Von Der Esch and Michael Gallup.
Oh,
Van Der Esch has actually retired because of a neck injury.
Speaking of retirement, let's talk about real quick the retirement of Aaron Donald.
That was a shocker.
That was a shocker.
Yeah, nobody saw that coming.
Definitely. I mean, played 8 years in the NFL, won a Super Bowl with the Rams, and just what a great athlete. What a great defensive mind for the game. And what I loved about Aaron's game is the fact that he was determined to get back to where he thought he was going to be. And that's in the biggest game of his life. And when the Rams won that Super Bowl in 21-22 season, that was incredible just because not only did Stafford play great with the offense, but Aaron Donald was that defiant leader, on the defensive side of the ball. He would not be denied. He wanted to be back in the NFL's biggest game in the spotlight, and he took command of the spotlight and he owned it. And what a hell of a career. Multi-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, one of the best. He will be in the NFL Hall of Fame when he is eligible.
Absolutely.
Oh, sure.
Yep. We mentioned Jimmy Garoppolo. Let's talk about his new home, the Rams.
To answer your question, Sister Abigail, the Cowboys have gotten nothing in this offseason. They've gotten, shit. They've gotten nothing but shit. The Cowboys have done nothing in this offseason, but continue to lose players week after week.
Yep, and I still find it hard to believe that Dak Prescott will actually agree to take a pay cut.
A pay cut to do what? Seriously, you have hardly no talent on that offensive end except for CD Lamb, who last year, congratulations, Cowboys fans, he actually watched him last year, CD ball. That is still the greatest sound bit. I need to go back into the archives and find out when the hell did Kevin say that for the first time, because that was the greatest line. I know it was during the summertime. But I
want to say.
It was in 22.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it was sometime in 22.
That's what I'm thinking. It was definitely the summer times.
So the Cowboys. So message for the Cowboys.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shush, please.
Thank you, G. Wilder. Of course, Kenny Pickett.
What's up, Big T? How you doing,
Big
sir?
T? What up, brother?
Big T.
Okay, of course.
Sorry that your Panthers still suck.
Yeah, welcome to football hell.
Yeah, Steven's favorite team there.
Liar.
Yeah, I'm a liar. Rollins band reference. Let's talk about it's a low stuff opinion, but I digress. Moving on from that, of course.
Real quick, sorry, Sister Abigail, Aaron Jones. I understand you wish that you actually had a talented running back going to that team like Aaron Jones, but he's not. Obviously, we know he's with the Vikings, and you know that as well because you are a Cowboys fan. But yeah, I would not recommend drowning my sorrow in alcohol if you're a Cowboys fan in this offseason because it's not going to be good. Anyways.
Oh yeah. Speaking of running backs, how about Alexander Madison, former Minnesota Vikings running back, has reached a deal with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Wait a minute now.
Forgot about that.
Oh, trust me, dude. I'm going down the line. Trust me, I'm going down the line here.
Hold the line.
Lay it on the line.
Let's see.
Yeah. See, I told you I was gonna make some stupid references today.
Yes.
Right now, Jimmy G walks into right now it goes into the locker room of the Rams. People don't know who the hell he is. Somebody asked him,
Look at you, giant idiot.
Oh, that came through so good. Oh God, that's a great Jericho soundbite.
"Giant idiot." Oh, one of my favorites. Kyler Murray posted about who was it? Hollywood Brown posted something. I don't know what it was about. I think it might have been about the free agent trends or whatever.
Big T, real quick, Big T. Seriously. Okay, yes, from all of us here on the sports show, we are doing mighty just fine. But I'm sorry, sir. Your Panthers are not going to be fine this year. Their ownership is trash. The ownership is horrible. That makes the Cowboys look like a good ownership team in the offseason. The fact that your team in the last couple of years has reeked of absolute crap the last couple of years.
Yeah,
And
I'm sorry, but David Tepper.
David Tepper is the epitome of failure.
Yes, I'm sorry, but he is. He is. I'm sorry.
A smart GM would get rid of this guy. Boom.
Oh my god. What are we doing? Just sit here bashing the Panthers for an hour? What are we doing here?
I mean, what do you expect? Big T's in the chat. Welcome to the chat there, buddy. Bless you.
Let me see.
This is let's talk about we got there's still plenty to talk about. Let's talk about still plenty to talk about here from Adam Schefter, of course. Let's talk about right here. Of course, we got Keenan Allen, of course, left the Chargers and went to the Bears. That was a huge. I did not expect that. That blew me away. That we got a former Pro Bowler now on our team and a key weapon. I'm excited. It's too bad we traded away the quarterback, but whatever. Oh,
I have faith in Bryce Young and the Panthers. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Most I'm sorry to say, but most Panthers fans are thinking
Made a huge mistake.
hey, Panthers fans, here's something you have to keep on doing is you have to wait.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happens. But that's what happens with their players and their coaches every time they leave. They think, wait, I never had a chance to love you.
Hey, but real quick, via our good buddy Adam Schefter, here's a big name that is
Here's a guy.
that with some teams. Let's see. This player visited the Rams today, and he's scheduled to meet later this week with the Titans and the Giants, and that is former Bills All-Pro cornerback Tre'Davious White.
Whoa.
Nice.
Tre'Davious White visited with the Rams today and is scheduled to meet later this week with the Titans and the Giants.
Man, Buffalo is taking some huge hits in this offseason.
Yeah.
Yup.
Dude, let's talk about some of the other big names that got. Let's talk about Aaron Jones got released from the Green Bay Packers. Where did he sign to?
Minnesota.
Going right across the state line to the Vikings. And in the process, Green Bay has signed former now Raiders wide receiver or Raiders player Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
4-year contract with $12.5 million guaranteed. What about your Commanders, Joe? You guys lost Curtis Samuel.
Yeah, we did.
He's going to the Buffalo Bills, $24 million deal, up to $30 million, including $15 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll admit that kind of hurt.
how about
But
this?
at the
What's that?
same time, let's talk about one of the biggest, and I mean biggest moves that my Commanders have done this past week in free agency, and that is agree to a 1 year contract with former Seattle Seahawk and Legion of Boom member Bobby freaking Wagner. Let's go.
Dude, you called me on the phone. You were ecstatic. You're like, you won't believe who the Commanders just got. I said, who? You said Bobby Wagner. I said, what? I'm like, since
Heck yeah, dude. I am absolutely loving what Dan Quinn is doing right now. I just hope it can lead to some on field success at this
what
point.
happens? When you leave the shackles of the Cowboys' clutches, that's when you get things done.
Yeah.
Speaking of your Commanders, your former quarterback Sam Howell is heading to the Seattle Seahawks.
Well, I wish him the best of luck. I hope he does well being Geno's backup.
And then also we can't not talk about Joe Mixon signing with the Texans on a 3-year, $27 million deal, including
Oh,
$13 million of it guaranteed.
Joe Mixon has found a home in Houston, and he will find a great success in Houston. I mean, just
Look at that team if you think about it already. Look
oh
at
my
that
god,
those front three. Look at those three main players. CJ Stroud, Nico Collins, and Joe Mixon.
Tank Dale.
and
It's
Tank Dell,
dude,
and the
Stroud's
tight
got
end.
fucking weapons, man.
Oh yeah,
God,
Dalton
what's his-
Schultz.
Yeah, Schultz. Man, just they are loaded on the offensive end.
Former 49ers defensive lineman Eric Armstead has signed a 3-year, $51 million deal with the Jacksonville Jags.
Hey, yo, Tony, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Is it our Tony Justice?
Tony, it's a little too late, pal. We've already been talking shit about your Cowboys. Deal with it.
Steven has.
Yeah, I'll take the bullet.
I've said nothing.
That is bullshit.
It truly is the thing that should not be.
Shout outs to Andre with the John Cena soundbite. That's great.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Wish I had that soundbite.
I know, right?
I know. Hey Andre, if you're watching the show at all, please send us some of the clips. Thank you. We could use them. Here we go. Joey Bosa restructured his contract to remain with the Chargers. So did Khalil Mack as well.
Interesting.
Let's see. Oh, we forgot to talk about Mike Vrabel.
Oh yeah, didn't he get hired as like a special assistant with like the
Yeah.
Browns?
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Vrabel. It was something I was going to talk about earlier, and then we got wrapped up in another player conversation. Let me find it here really quick here. Scrolling through. Here it is. Yep, Mike Vrabel, he's a coaching and personnel consultant for the Browns.
That's huge.
He returns to his the state of his alma mater, where he was a standout at Ohio State.
Yep.
Hmm.
And Big T sees it says here in the chat, he says, I agree that Houston is the best team on paper. I just don't know how it will pair out on the field. And that's an interesting point, Big T, because I mean, yes, on paper, the Texans have a loaded team, but that's why they play the game. That's why they play the games, and that's why they play 17 regular season games now. And it will be interesting to see how Houston does now that they're one of the favorite teams, going into next year's season.
But of course, you can't count out Jacksonville because they could come out of nowhere and surprise everybody.
Yep.
Dude, listen. Okay, and listen to this. These are all the quarterbacks that have changed places. All the main ones, anyways, that have changed places so far. Outside of course, the recent ones like Fields. Of course, the recent ones like Fields and whoever else, Kenny Pickett. Here's
Kenny
some of the,
Pickett to the Eagles.
yep.
Hilarious.
As long as what's his name, Jalen Hurts doesn't get hurt, they'll be fine. If he gets hurt, that team is gonna sink quicker than the Titanic did back in 1912.
That's
In
a
my
good point there, William.
It did with the Eagles. It did with the Eagles. And then when the Eagles sink, maybe they'll play "My Heart Will Go On" by Celine Dion in the background.
And Big T is sitting there thinking, and he just said here in the comment, I wish Vrabel was in Carolina. So he's probably thinking to himself, I wish you were here. We're just two lost individuals year after year. Anyways, oh, I feel so good to get that shit off my chest about Carolina. Oh, yes.
Let's see here. Here's all the quarterbacks that have changed places from this time period. Kirk Cousins, Baker Mayfield. Of course, Kirk Cousins went to the Falcons. Baker Mayfield, Bucks.
Yep.
Russell Wilson, Steelers. Gardner Minshew, Raiders. Jacoby Brissett, Patriots. Sam Darnold, Vikings. Mitchell Trubisky, Bills. Marcus Mariota, Commanders. Tyrod Taylor, Jets. Jameis Winston, Browns. Mason Rudolph, Titans. Joe Flacco, Colts. You know what's crazy? Jameis Winston is on the same team as Deshaun Watson. You got one guy who can't stop giving massages, and you got one guy who can't stop stealing crab legs.
But yeah, keep in mind Baker Mayfield actually stayed with the Bucks. He didn't go to the Bucks. He stayed with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the only one that really changed teams. Everybody else is just leaving their respective teams. I mean,
yeah. Good on him too. Good on him for sticking around, man, because he was a big part of the success that Tampa Bay had.
oh yeah, especially with Mike Evans. Him and Mike Evans being back this year, Tampa's going to be looking to go further places now.
So yeah. But how about this one? The Tennessee Titans got a new wide receiver, and his name is Calvin Ridley.
That's right. 4 years, $92 million. He's like, screw Jacksonville, screw New England. I'm going to Tennessee.
He must have betted on himself.
Possibly.
I don't know if this happened before last week, but did you guys oh no, it didn't. The Baltimore Ravens got a big weapon. All hail the king.
Oh yeah, Derrick Henry. We talked about this last week.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, but
that's insane though, man.
It's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Dude, I can't believe that. That's nuts. But
yeah, he's the only big time running back that changed places. Saquon Barkley went to the Eagles.
Yeah, that was shocking to hear this Saquon went there, but I know one of our favorite radio hosts, Eddie Trunk, said that he thinks that Saquon is overpaid and overrated.
Well, I mean that might be a true statement, but you never know.
But yeah, those are pretty much the major free agency signings we have right now, and
yeah, so let's not forget about Austin Eckler joining my Commanders.
Oh yeah, that's right. Austin Eckler did join the Commanders.
Yep.
Yes, sir, boy.
Yeah,
and
so
we made some great moves on defense as well. Getting a few guys from Dallas.
Yep.
Getting Frankie Louvu from the Carolina Panthers. And also getting Jeremy Chin from the Panthers.
Dude, freaking speaking of the Panthers, on the Pat McAfee show last week, country music star Luke Combs was on Pat McAfee. And he was talking about his beloved Carolina Panthers. Oh, when it comes to him, when it rains, it pours.
Yep. But at least Carolina's made some
It makes
moves.
me want to get in a fast car and drive the fuck out of Carolina.
Yeah, at least Carolina's made some free agent moves, unlike the one-star Uber driver rated Dallas Cowturds.
Oof.
Oof.
I'm trying to go the other way with that. Why do you gotta pull me back?
Yeah, because it's easy to pick on them. That's why.
You're a horrible human being. You know that, right?
So what? I hate Dallas. Can't stand them.
You can't
Ab-
stand. You can't stand him. It's like when you knock down Zach Gallen.
Oof.
Dang.
I could just envision that year when Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of him on SmackDown.
I feel so horrible for saying that.
Yeah.
I feel like a horrible human being, man. This sucks. Then again, I'll get over it in about 5
Sister
minutes.
Abigail says here in the chat she loves her some Pat McAfee. She calls him the Big Mac guy.
Oh yeah, Pat McAfee's a freaking bomb. He has been killing that.
Everyone, Big T, you are on some serious drugs. Okay. Everybody does not love Carolina, but yes, everybody does hate Dallas.
Look, I'll admit for both teams had their struggles, their stumbles. Carolina is not exactly what you would call. Look, they made some bad free agency calls. Dallas is, Dallas has its moments, and then they do. They play have some good games, some great success. Even in the past couple of years, they made the playoffs at least a couple of times, and I can't really fault them. Carolina had some good years before everything just kind of went downhill. David Tapper needs to be fucking fired.
He's the worst. He's the worst owner in NFL history. He is horrible.
Horrible.
Let me tell you, he's absolutely terrible. Just terrible. Just absolutely terrible. Just everything he does, terrible.
Let's go back to real quick. I don't want to divulge because we got to go to a little bit of baseball next. But what about that video? Obviously, Steven, I know you can't really see it, but the video that came out of Vince Carter at a game, at an NBA game, actually dunked.
Wow.
He was in a full 3-piece suit. Fucking, they threw the ball to him and he dunked it.
Wow.
Interesting.
People are like, "Oh shit, Vince Carter's back! Look out, everybody!"
Randy, what's up, man?
Hey, Randy, what's going on, brother? Good to hear from you.
Wait, Randy. Have you been over there in the corner just watching us, not saying nothing? Yeah. Uh-huh. We caught that.
By the way, Tom Brady says hello.
Randy's been sitting there in the corner listening to us absolutely bash the living brains out of the Panthers. He's been thinking to himself, oh, you secretly love the Panthers. No, I don't.
Come on, Steven. We're going to
Nope.
get it out of you eventually.
Nope. No dice.
Yeah. But real quick, any other NFL news you guys want to get to before we get into a little Major League Baseball?
Think I'm good.
I am good.
All right, it's a little bit of MLB time. Obviously, we're in the middle of spring training, but we're not that far off from the beginning of the regular season. Joey, you being the baseball aficionado here, give us a little lowdown on kind of where we stand right now.
Well, as you mentioned, Ezra, we are in the middle of spring training, but if you want to be, or if you feel like watching a baseball game at 5:30 in the morning, you're going to miss or witness a very, very special treat. And that is the fact that we are kicking the season off a little bit early. The Dodgers and the Padres are going to be playing a a couple of games. I believe it is in Seoul, South Korea, to kick off the
Ooh.
season. And that is starting tomorrow morning with a special game airing at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time on ESPN.
Well, I'm a midnight's worker, so 5:30 in the morning is like by 7 o'clock in the evening. So
Nice.
that works for me. But obviously that's cool. They're playing games in Seoul, which is obviously the capital of South Korea. Those would be that'll be a good game, Padres and dude. I expect it should be a good game, but that's going to be the kickoff. You said to the regular MLB season, correct?
That is correct.
Um, any big injury news that we should know about, Joe?
Actually, yes. Yankees pitcher Garrett Cole has been shut down for at least a month. Give me just a second while I pull it up here. Let me see. Yes, Yankees ace Garrett Cole is going to be out and not throwing for the next 3 to 4 weeks with an elbow nerve irritation. So, seeing as how he won't be able to throw for 3 to 4 weeks, we could be seeing, or we actually cannot be seeing Garrett Cole pitch for the Yankees for at least the first month, maybe a month and a half of the Major League season.
Yeah, that injury could not come at a worst possible time for the Yankees.
Let me see if there's any other big baseball news real quick.
Let's see here.
Let's see. Yeah. Oh yes. Former Cy Young Award winner Blake Snell has landed a 2-year, $62 million deal with the San Francisco Giants.
Okay.
All right. And Philadelphia Phillies first baseman Bryce Harper saying he's undergoing some back injuries right now, but they're saying that he is fine and should be ready for opening day, which is going to be on March 28th against, of all teams, my Atlanta Braves.
That'll be interesting.
Let's see, and the Yankees are also dealing with some other injuries. New York Yankees third baseman DJ LeMahieu is going to be missing some time during spring training because of a pretty significant bone bruise in his right foot. But good news for the Yankees, Aaron Judge is expected to return to the lineup Wednesday for their spring training game.
Also, I saw the injury report too here. Chris Murphy, the pitcher for the Boston Red Sox, he's going to be out until at least June 1st, dealing with elbow injury. They're also not going to have their other one of their other pitchers, Chris Martin. He's going to be he's questionable for the start of the season with a groin injury.
Interesting.
Also,
Ooh.
after having surgery himself, the former Chicago White Sox now turned Boston Red Sox Liam Hendricks is going to be out to at least August 1st with his elbow issues.
Wow. And this is going to be a very interesting matchup for this Dodgers Padres Soul Series. It's going to feature Tyler Glasnow pitching for the Dodgers against the world famous Yu Darvish from the Padres.
Nice. Yeah, the former Cub, Yu Darvish, yep.
Yep. And on that note, fellas, I have to get off here because I was telling Steven earlier that tonight is actually my wife's birthday. So I'm going to go spend this last little bit with her.
All right, Joey, take care.
Great job, man.
All right. See you guys next week. Peace out, everyone.
No problem. All right, that was Joey Thornton. He'll be back next week. Steven, obviously we talked a lot about let's see here. Let's talk about real quick I don't think there was any big UFC fights last weekend, was there?
Uh,
I don't believe so. I'm checking right now.
No, I don't believe so. No, because last week, not this past week, but the last weekend was UFC 299.
Yeah. Which that was a great card. Um, but the next big pay per view is of course UFC 300, which is fine. Coming up here in April. But real quick, Steven, I do want to talk. This is going to divulge from the sport. Actually, no, we're going to keep with the sports theme a little bit. Um, we're in a baseball talk. In baseball, a lot of people baseball have walkout music. We talk about it. Cody Decker has talked about how he used to come out to Devil's Dance by Metallica for a
Yep.
little because of the opening bass riff. If you were to walk out to the plate with any song, what would it be?
Oh man, God, that's so hard. I mean,
Mine's pretty easy. For Whom the Bell Tolls.
okay.
Especially after seeing Nick Gage come out with it. Now every time I
Oh
hear
yeah.
it, it's me fucking hyped.
Oh man. I mean, obviously back in the day, Rivera came out to Enter Sandman. That was one of the coolest things ever. Man, that is so difficult. I mean, put me on the spot, not even really thinking about it. I mean, it's probably going to be a Metallica song because I mean, there's just so many great Metallica songs. I mean, golly, I mean, you got For Whom the Bell Tolls. I mean, and that's a great one too. Man, I mean, dude, it's so tough. I mean, but a metaphoric gun to my head, I'm probably gonna go with Puppets.
Puppets, okay. All right, I was thinking that was gonna be one of the.
If I had to pick an alternate song, probably Creeping Death. I mean, just the song has this energy, and if I wanted to go deep, I could have said like Trapped Under Ice or Disposable Heroes. I mean, just of
Yeah,
course, like if I was to pick like a Maiden song, I would definitely pick like Run to the Hills or or I'm sorry, a Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner, or you know. And Cody, shout outs to Cody. Cody does a hell of a job on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
yeah, absolutely. For a while, he had the Swings and Misses show with his wife Jen Decker. That was going on radio.com, and now he's moved over to Mad Dog Radio, and now he's doing a kind of similar thing there.
And he does a great job too.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, and I think that about wraps it up for me. I don't have anything else in particular to talk about. Steven, do you?
Yeah, I think I'm good right now.
All right, man. Go ahead and let's do the final thoughts thing. Go ahead.
Great show with you guys, and thank you to everybody that came here in the chat tonight. Like we had everybody from Tony and William and Randy and Big T. Even though we trashed his Panthers for about 25, 30 plus minutes, I know Big T had a great time here in the chat. Even though he is on some serious drugs over there, thinking about everybody loves Carolina. Okay. But anyways, shout outs to Abigail being there in the chat. Everybody here being in the chat, and everybody that watches this on demand, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. And we look forward next week to coming back on here next week and recapping even more NFL news, and obviously giving our analysis on the start of the NCAA basketball tournament for both the men's and women's, as there will be some significant teams going after the national championship. And you can follow us on Twitter at ON_Sports Show, Facebook.com and YouTube.com, where we are live on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time, are all both at Our Nation Sports Show. And the Instagram is at ON Sports Show. And you can also follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, Facebook.com/Nation's Corner, and on the old YouTube, where they are live on every Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific at youtube.com/Nation's Corner. And be sure to check out the guys and gal this Saturday as they recap all the happenings in professional wrestling. And what do we have here? Holy hell. Just when we were just about to wrap up the show, this guy.
This
guy.
right here. Ha ha ha.
Here's a guy, he comes into the outside, he goes into Facebook and says, boom, I want to join the show. I want to hijack the show, just like Mike would if he was here.
He's having audio problems. Give him a second here. Yeah, he's got to come back. He's got to reset. He's got to check his audio. He's got to fix it.
I think Sprocket may have screwed it up.
Yep, I think so too.
Sprocket!
You're gonna have to probably get there. You get change your name, but we can't hear you, bro. Yeah, you're gonna have to fix your audio there.
This guy. Wow. For the second week, he's attempting to hijack the show.
Of course he is. We can't hear him.
Can't hear him, but this is great.
It's probably the best thing we can't hear him, but I digress.
I would definitely pick like Run to the Hill.
Oh, there he is.
There he is, Randy. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, Cody,
Hey, you figured it out.
hell of a job.
No, I didn't. I don't know what I got going on here. The volume's up on my thing here. Hold on a second.
Yeah. You're about 30 minutes behind, and or 20 minutes behind, or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think it is?
Moved over to Guide Dog Radio, and I was doing the kind of similar thing there. And he does a great job.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You may want to find that volume button. You know that thing that you turn the volume up there with your remote there. You ever there? How you doing?
Steven.
Hey, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. How you doing?
Doing a great job. How you doing over there? How you doing?
Go
I'm
ahead.
talking to the guy over there. Yeah, that guy that's got the volume wide over. He can hear us on the old TV. How you doing?
Hey, Buzz on.
We had everybody.
Bada boom, realest guy right in the room. How you doing?
So, hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
He had a great time here in the chat. Even though he is having serious drugs over there thinking about
Let's turn that shit
This is great. We're on like a 5-10 minute delay or whatever it is. It looks great when he finally gets to when he comes into the room. He can't hear himself when he's already in the room. Live pal.
NCAA basketball
Oh,
tournament.
this is great.
Holy day.
This is great. You come in to hijack this show, and you can't figure out how to turn your volume down. So
I'm
what?
trying.
Facebook.
You're failing misery. You're failing so awfully. Oh, God.
Even you are misery.
Misery does love company, but I digress. So Randy, so you joined the show. What the hell do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about how Sprocket loves the show. Look at him. He's going crazy.
Oh, isn't that a good
Rocket,
kitty?
what's up, buddy?
You see him? He keeps meowing. He wants to be on the show. So I wasn't going to go on the show, but he made me. See? See?
That's a good cat.
Right, Sprocket? Say something. See?
Oh,
I told you. I told you guys. He's the star of the show. He's the mascot of the show.
Sprocket.
Win.
Sprocket.
He's got a mind of his own, guys. I can't help it. It's awesome.
Sprocket.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. He's
That's great. That's
yeah, I
great.
don't know what's going on. I'm not sure what's going on with my stuff here. I wish I could tell, but I'm gonna leave. I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Later, dude.
Set up next time.
Later,
I promise.
Sprocket.
Thanks for
Peace
coming
out.
on, buddy. Bye, Sprocket.
Bye, y'all. See you guys. Thanks.
No problem,
Take
man.
it. Bye
Later,
now.
dude.
Bye now.
Well,
All right. So you said everything you needed to say, Steven?
I said what I needed to say that needed to be said. How you doing?
Okay. All right, let's go ahead and close it out like we always do. All right, guys, we thank you guys
Oh
for
my
joining us
god,
as
that was
always.
hilarious.
This was awesome. Thank you for a nice little run-in from good old Randy Garrett. We thank you guys for joining us as always. We can't do the show without you. Thank you to Sister Abigail, Big T, William, Randy, anybody in the chat, Tony. Of course, we thank you guys for all joining us here live
And
on
shout outs to Sprocket.
and shout out to Sprocket, of course. Shout out to Sprocket. And shout out to my dog Rocket too, who is probably in the other room. But anyways, thank you guys once again. We'll see you next Tuesday. You can find us on all the social medias, including our individual ones. You can find me at Deadman469, Steven_Wyand, Roll Tide, 1994 plus 5, 2558, on an Ike. Whatever Joey's is. You can find him there. Of course, Kevin Rory, you can find him on his social medias as well.
That Niner Gang 10 on Twitter.
There you go. Thank you. Don't forget to follow us, of course, like I said, all social medias. Keep an eye out for any updates as the show becomes available. And of course, like the Nation's Corner, Too Sweet Cosplay, all that good stuff. So let's finally end this bitch. So for Brandy Gyron, for Sprocket, why not? For Stephen Wyand, for Joey Thornton, and for our boy KR Kevin Rory, and everybody in sports show world, I am Ezra Vickery. And we will see you right here next week with another great edition of our Nation's Sports Show. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, and we will see you next Tuesday, same time, same YouTube channel. Peace out, everybody. Have a great weekend. God bless.
Turn me up. Turn me up.